G'day, this is a very quick guide to Weakauras. It's designed more for beginner users who perhaps have downloaded the add-on and just been overwhelmed with the options and thusly been unable to actually create any Weakauras, or they've tried and it's been unsuccessful, that kind of stuff. So we're going to type /WA to open up Weakauras. And on the right hand side you've got a variety of options. On the left we're not going to worry about that just yet, but on the right here I'm going to pick which one I think is most useful. So for a buff that has a duration, I'm thinking a progress texture. Now I'm going to call it a name, so let's just go with mend pet and then I'll hit enter. Now I'm going to put some options in here. So first of all, it starts off with this icon in the middle. It's kind of in the middle. I don't really like the sun icon. I want to change that, and I also want to move it. So the first thing I can do is move it, because that's easy. Just click and drag. I might pop it down there. We're going to go to the display tab up the top, and I'm going to change the picture. So I don't want the sun anymore. I'm going to use this foreground texture, hit the choose button underneath, and now I can select anything else that my heart desires. There's also some additional options in this extra drop down menu. I can do runes, I can also do PvP emblems. I'm going to go with power auras icons because there's a mushroom and I want to use the mushroom. Then I hit OK once I'm happy. Now the mushroom is huge, I don't need it that big, so I'm going to scroll under display still. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the window where it says width and height. So let's change this. For the purpose of the video, I'm going to leave it at 100, which is still rather big. I'd normally have it maybe 50 or smaller, but just for this video to make it easier for you guys to see it, we'll leave it at 100. Now going back up to the top of the display, I've got a few options when it comes to desaturating, so I could desaturate the foreground of the icon, the active colour, or I could even desaturate the background, which kind of looks nice, so I might leave it at that. Blend mode is another one that I use quite often. Generally, if you have an icon that has some sort of feathery effect or a gradient, I find that glow works better. You don't get any harsh lines or things being cut out. However, for my mushroom, I think opaque will be fine. Now there's nothing really else I need to change here. I could change the alpha if I wanted to. I could change the rotation, that also works. There's a few things that you can fiddle with. Going up to trigger now, the trigger tab, this is what allows your Weakaura to appear. So if you have any problems with it not appearing, it's quite possible it's a mistake in the trigger, or it's a mistake in the load part of it as well, which is the next thing we'll look at. So going back to trigger, what I need to do is I need to tell the Weakaura that it's looking for mend pet. Mend pet is a spell, mend pet is a buff, and mend pet is not on me, it's actually on my pet. So bearing those three things in mind, I'm going to change some settings here. So the first thing, aura type is fine because it is a buff. Now the aura name, now if I don't know the name of the aura, I can, put mend pet up and I can mouse over it and it says mend pet is the name. So we're going to type mend pet and then hit enter, and it comes up with 3 different spells that are called mend pet. So that's fine because the first 2 I can recognize the icon there, so I know it's one of those. You can alternatively put in the spell ID if you happen to know what that is. Now with the unit, as I said, it's not on me, it's on my pet. So you can change that to whatever you need for your specific ability. I'm going to pick pet. The aura type is a buff, it's not a debuff, so that's fine. Now the other thing is there's lots of other hunters in a raid, and I don't want to know when their mend pets are up, I want to know when it's mine. So down the bottom there's an option for own only. That's all I probably am going to fiddle with on here. Going across to the load tab now. This is very, very useful. As you'll notice on the left here, I have mend pet is the only loaded Weakaura. I've actually got a lot of not loaded Weakauras. If I expand those, you can see how many we've got. Some of these are specific to tanks, some of them are specific to Hellfire Citadel, some are specific to High Maul, that kind of stuff. So you can actually specify for Weakauras only to load given certain conditions. It's very useful when you have a lot of ults, I can tell you that. So I can either have just on this particular hunter, so I could put his name in there. I could also specify it's only this realm, for whatever reason. I'm going to use player class because all of my hunters have meant pet. So I can now select from the drop down menu hunter. So if I'm on my level 1 hunter, if I'm on my level 100 hunter, it's going to display this same icon in the same place in response to the same spell. You could also select talent specialization. You can select specific talents, the level of the player, the zone. Zone is what you'd use for raids. So just type in whatever the raid is, like Hellfire Citadel or High Maul, and it'll only appear when you're in that area. Now, if I want to actually have this available on multiple characters, multiple classes, for example, if it's let's say it's an item, not a spell. So an item can be available on a variety of characters. At the moment, you can only pick one character at a time. However, if you click a second time on the checked option that you've picked, whatever it is that you're running with, if I click a second time, it then gives me the ability to select multiple classes. So I could do a paladin and a hunter if I wanted to. Okay, so just be mindful of that because I didn't know how to do that originally. Then we're going to go over to actions. Just for the sake of this video, we'll do some different things. I honestly wouldn't do these with a lot of the abilities, but just so you can see what happens. Let's say on show, we've got an on show condition and an on hide condition. So let's say when it shows, I want to play a sound. Now the sound I want is, I'm undead, so let's have a wicked male laugh. Nice. Okay. Let's also have me say something. So a chat message. I'm going to put this chat message into say, and we're just going to say healing pet and hit enter. So when the buff appears, I should hear the sound and he will say healing pet. Let's say when it disappears, I'm also going to have the chat message in the say channel that says no longer healing pet, just to let me know that it's appeared or disappeared. As I said, I honestly wouldn't do this, especially in a group. You'd be spamming chat for a lot of the time, but for the purposes of this video, we'll do that. You've also got animations. Animations don't work with every Weakaura, so you just have to see what works with what you want. That's probably all I need. So we're going to close out Weakauras, and now I'm going to try it. So as I said, it should do those things. It should show the icon. The icon should disappear progressively as the meant pet disappears. I should at the beginning say that I'm healing the pet, and I should hear the wicked laugh, and then when it's finished, it should say that I'm not healing the pet anymore. If all of those things happen, we're golden. Let's give it a go. Now we're just waiting for the end of it, where you should say not healing pet. There we go. So that's how you do it. As I said, I'm going to put this as a Weakaura in the description of this video, so there'll be a link in there if you want to use that and then use it as a springboard, as I said, to create your own. You're very welcome to do that. But in terms of where I'd normally at this point in the video say, if you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below. To be honest, I am not the person to ask about this. If you're looking for something specific, I would say Google. But if you follow this word for word, step for step, you should be able to at least get something working, which is hopefully more than where you are now, is fingers crossed. But thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your morning, day, afternoon, evening, whatever the case may be, and we'll hopefully see you in the next video.